Hey everyone, welcome to the full moon alert for the Aquarius full moon that's coming up on July 23rd. It's going to climax around 8:37 p.m. Mountain Time. So depending on where you're at in the world, it could be, of course, on a different day and a different hour. That's how time works, right? Anyway, we're going to do a pick a card reading here. We're going to start off, your first choice for number 1 is the full moon in Aquarius. Number 2 is the new moon in Aquarius, and the third is just a generic full moon card. All these cards come from this beautiful deck, Moonology Oracle card guidebook, and we'll talk about what energy is coming with the full moon in Aquarius in reading number 1. So if you want to stick around for that, I'll talk about that in the beginning of the reading. If you don't and you want to choose one of the others, timestamps are in the description box below. We'll go ahead and jump into number 1. If you chose reading number 1, which is the full moon in Aquarius, it says, show the world the real you. And I love the water bear symbols in there, and we'll talk about that here in just a moment. So, definitely the full moon in Aquarius brings some extra energy coming in. We're entering into the age of Aquarius, so there's this big transition of power, spiritual power and spiritual energy. So full moon normally is a time to release. We've come, from the new moon that we planted seeds and we've grown and it's grown, and now it's a full, full moon, and then we start to release what we're letting go before we harvest and clear things out of our life to make room for the new seeds that we're going to plant. So this is the time where we normally, full moon, release things, let things go, and we start to look at what we're releasing out of our lives. You add in Aquarius, and that triples that message of releasing old ways, letting go of old things that no longer serve you, and moving into that. Aquarian really brings in this additional message of being your own unique character. You have your own characteristics that make you special for who you are, and so during this energy of this moon, it really helps you accept that piece of yourself, see it as special, see it as unique, see it as a gift rather than as a fault or something that you shouldn't express. So this energy is going to kind of bring around your quirkiness, and you're going to celebrate that quirkiness if you grasp into that moon. Now this is happening on July 23rd, so usually about a week before and a couple of weeks after until the new moon is when this energy is going to be impacting you. But of course, if you come across this reading outside of that time frame, if you're drawn here by your intuition, I would still listen to it because you're going to have messages. Trust your gut on that. Some other interesting energy that comes around with Aquarius is Aquarians in general, like Sun Aquarians, and if you have Aquarius in your chart somewhere, you have this strong concern for humanity and for community. And because of that, you have this drive to find new ways to approach things. That's, about that uniqueness, and the quirkiness is you will have this urge to do things differently other than the norm, thinking outside the box instead of trying to fit into those, the boxes of society and what we've all been taught growing up to that point. And because of that, the Aquarian energy brings around this objective view where you can see others' views, others' actions, others' beliefs from an objective point of view. It doesn't mean that you have to take on all of their beliefs as your own, but you allow them to be who they are because you appreciate being allowed to be who you are in all the quirky energy, right? and as a bonus, what I love is that the water bearers, they're air signs, but they bring this vase of living waters. All this water that's coming out is the living waters, and the gift that brings is it teaches us what we truly are thirsty for. All the things in the external world aren't satisfying or quenching our thirst. So what this energy brings is the awareness that all the things that you've been taught are supposed to fulfill you, quench your thirst, make you feel whole, complete, define your worth by, are all disappointing and not quenching. It's kind of like how we say it's Chinese food, American Chinese food anyway, with full of MSG and sodium to where it doesn't fill us for very long, and it even makes us thirstier, right? It's like you get that, what you thought you needed, and then you're like, no, but I want more and more and more and more, and it never truly satisfies. Well, this living water that comes through this Aquarian energy is the unconditional love of the creator of all things. That is what quenches our thirst. And so this message that this full moon energy in Aquarius is bringing is it's bringing you this awareness of what truly is going to make you feel whole and quench that thirst. So I love this energy that's coming up. If you of course around a full moon, your energy's already and emotions are elevated and magnified. So whatever you focus on during this time is magnified. If you focus on this living water, then it just is going to be an amazing, period of time for you. All right, but we're going to grab some cards here and see what the creator would have to say. We're going to start off by pulling a card from the Queen of the Moon Oracle deck. And we'll see for you that chose pile number 1 or card number 1, reading number 1. What message the creator has for you. All right. All right, creator, what would you like those that chose reading number 1 to know about this moon cycle, this time in their life, please? Make it really obvious for us. Okay, there we go. And you got the unexpected, the blue moon, once in a blue moon. And I love this imagery here. I'm also reminded that, not only in July do we have a full moon in Aquarius, but also in August we have another full moon in Aquarius, which is kind of seems like a once in a blue moon type of thing too. So you've got, 2 moons here is what jumped out to me. So just know that there's going to be this period of time over both in July and through August that you're going to have all this awareness brought to you about what it is truly that makes your heart sing in your life, and that living your dreams is not something that has to happen once in a blue moon. Blue moon is when there's like 3 I believe the full moon, I'm sorry, I think I'm getting it mixed up with something else. I thought the blue moon was when there was like 2 moons in a month, and meaning 4 within a quarter where there's normally only 3. That's why they say it's every once in a blue moon. It doesn't come around that often. And we'll read from the book here too, and see what additional message is in here for you. So it's called The Unexpected. It says, no matter how well you plan, there's always room for the unexpected to occur. Build your resilience, as rare occurrences can happen. A visitor you have not seen in a long time may re-enter your life. And the phrase around this card is, I trust in myself and in life. In Old Farmer's Almanacs, a blue moon was described, as the 3rd full moon in a season that has 4 full moons. So I was correct. Okay, good. Thank you. The newer and now more accepted description is that a blue moon is when there are 2 full moons in 1 calendar month. Either way, it is a rare occurrence and has inspired the saying, once in a blue moon, when describing an event or behavior that only happens rarely. The energy and power of the blue moon can be best taken advantage of by setting intentions on these moons of things that you really want but have never felt could happen. I refer to big wishes, the almost miracle stuff we would both delighted and surprised about if manifested. After setting blue moon intentions, though, don't sit there hoping it will just happen. Try to take clear, practical steps toward these big, seemingly faraway intentions and help the universe along. Some of us love surprises, and some of us don't. But I don't think anyone can go through life without sometimes having the unexpected happen to them. While some professions in particular, such as the military and medicine, try to plan for everything that could go wrong, life sometimes finds a way to outsmart the most thorough of plans. Isn't that the truth? This is simply life. Although it's important for us to know where, how, and why we're traveling down a particular path, we should also make room for and expect the unexpected. And the companion stone or metal for this is benitoite. It's a very rare blue gem. And I love this for the Aquarian full moon reading because of that, rare occurrence of having two full moons following each other in the same sign and them being Aquarius with this living water and this amazing energy that's coming for you. So it is definitely a time for you, both in July and through August, of finding what it is that truly makes your heart sing. And like it mentioned in for this card, go for those things that you're like, wow, those big dreams. What are you waiting for? You're not living, you're just existing. And if you're not living your life, then why are we living? What are we waiting for to live our lives to die? So now is the time to really, focus and zoom in on that because, definitely this last year or two has taught us that there's so many unexpected things that can happen, and all those things that we're supposed to fulfill us haven't. So, live, enjoy, pursue those things, get out of that box of supposed to's and shoulds. Our fears are being outweighed by this just exhausting, almost boring feeling of, I go to work, I wake up, and do all that and repeat. We get to the weekend, whenever our weekend might be, and it's about preparing to start the next work week again instead of like waking up in the morning just with this zest and enjoyment for life. So now is the time to look and reflect on what your dreams are, not what everyone has told you your dreams are supposed to be, but what your dreams are, and then make steps, write it down on what you want to do, what it would need to take to get there, and work on the stuff you can, letting the universe bring in other stuff, but be that co-creator with the universe for that. Right? We're also going to pull some additional cards here from the Everyday Tarot deck just to see what additional information, validation, or confirmation Creator has for you. All right, Creator, what else do you have for those that chose reading number 1, please? Okay, so it's going to be that they have given you 5 beautiful cards. We'll do it this way. And you got the 5 of Cups here, and this is a beautiful card because the Cups are emotions, and you'll see here that these are the things that you were told that were supposed to fulfill you, and you've they have disappointed. You've drank of them, and you still again feel thirsty. You're just like, no, I'm just not I'm satisfied. I'm not pleased. And what's wonderful is that you have these two of cups back here in this bridge that takes you over to this castle where that is like your dreams. So all you have to do is take the action of turning around, grasping onto these two cups, and head off in that direction. You don't have to cross these emotional waters, that of disappointment and everything anymore. There's this bridge that will take you across it and bring you to that point. What I love about this card is if you cover up these three, you have these two of cups, and the two of cups, for me, I interpret as realizing the duality of yourself. You have this physical being that has come down here to, work on this earth and not really so much work, but experience all the opposites of who you are and all these emotions, like including, disappointment and sadness and anger, all the emotions that are opposite of unconditional love. But you're also, more than just this character. You're this powerful, spiritual, eternal being made of unconditional love that is unlimited and expansive instead of this limited and suppressed. But we experience this so we understand more fully what this is. And so this is a part of us. This is our shadow. We come here to experience that. And so the awareness of that is an amazing thing. Also, for this specific reading, those two of cups equal the two moons, the two full moons that are bringing that the water bearer. You're having two water bearers come in this period of time to offer those living waters to you. So I love that synchronicity and the correlation between that now. And then you have the Queen of Cups, and she's the one that is bringing. Of course, the cups again is emotions. And the Queen is the feminine side, which is a lot of emotion as well. So this is bringing in a lot of emotional energy during this time for you. And again, just the emphasis on this single cup that is bringing to you is like the Holy Grail. And that is the unconditional love of the Creator. I just feel such a important emphasis on this living waters coming for you, in that whatever that means for you, however that process unfolds for you, it's about letting go of all those beliefs that are constricting you, and all those emotions that are having you focus on what you don't have, and possibly how you feel you have failed and made mistakes and errors. And it's about turning all that around and understanding that all these emotions that you have, you came to experience, and they're happening for you, and it's not happening to you, and they're not bad things. All those opposite emotions of this human character, we came here for that. Specifically, we came here to experience all that, because we don't experience that on the other side. A beautiful awareness that has come through this book that I'm reading is about that on the other side, where we come from, everyone is worthy. We don't even understand what unworthiness is, so we don't even understand what having worth is, because we all have it. And we always have known it, and so we've not known it. So coming here and experience what unworthiness feels like allows us to fully comprehend and appreciate that worthiness that we feel. And we can experience, pieces of that here. In the human experience, our body would probably explode if we had the full impact of our spiritualness. Our little body can't handle all that, so we would just go. So we get pieces of that, a drop here, a drop there. We don't get the full waterfall. We get drops of it, and that's so much. Just like a little baby bird, little droplets are enough to keep it whole and complete. If you try to give it a glass of milk, or a whole glass of water, or whatever, you drowned it. So that's what us as this little baby bird can take, as these droplets of this beautiful living water. Okay, and then we'll come back to that one. We're coming to here. Yep, and you got the Hanged Man. So this is about a new perspective, a higher view. So like we were talking about that Two of Cups, not seeing things so much from your human perspective, being able to see it from above and seeing things in a whole new way. And I love this around with it being attached to the blue moon, because it's like you're going to see your dreams and your wishes and your goals and your drive in a whole new way when you see it from a higher perspective, when you release yourself from all those restrictions of the supposed tos and see things from that higher place of possibilities. Then you don't see things as impossible. You're like, you know what? I don't care if I ever reach the end of my, my dreams. I'm going to enjoy the process of getting there because I feel like I'm living as I'm taking the steps towards my dream. And, eventually, our dreams change as we, move in anyway, as we head towards, like we choose, like I'm going to go towards that mountain, and we're taking step towards there. And as we're getting further on our journey, we didn't even know that this mountain was over there because of where we were at in the valley. And as we go higher, like, oh my gosh, wait a minute, I don't want to go that direction. I want to go that direction. And then you make adjustments to go there. And then again, you might see even something else and make those adjustments. So this mentality we have in this lifetime is, you make a decision, what are you going to be and what are you going to do? No, you have to stick to it. You said you were going to do this. It's like, no, we have the option to choose every 90 seconds a new choice if we want. And that's okay. We're the ones that get to live our lives. Everyone else can mind their own business and live their life, right? Yeah, perfect. And you've got the Tower. So you got this Tower moment that's coming. And what the Tower does is that this lightning strike burns down this tower, which the tower is all these illusions of what you're supposed to be and should be. And so what it does for us, and I don't know if it shows, this one just has the one that's falling out of it. A lot of the towers will show someone jumping or someone that's got blasted out by the lightning bolt. And what I like about that interpretation of it is because we have these opportunities that come for us that say, hey, the universe, creator, whatever you believe your higher power is, says, there's this other opportunity that you wanted to go do, and you told me at this point in your life to start pointing you toward it. So we start getting these messages. And when we're like, okay, and when we're listening and open to that, we'll make that leap and we'll leave this, conditional supposed to's and shoulds and all that. Well, we also told the creator that if I'm stubborn and I don't listen, and you've told me over and over and over and over again, at this point in my life, if I haven't made that jump, blast it for me. And so we do have these tower moments in our life that go and we feel like what, everything's against us and it's destroying my outer world, what happened? But when we come from this new higher perspective, we realize that all this stuff happens for us and not to us. And so we allow ourselves to be blasted, after we're laying on the ground and all that tower is burnt down. Then we're like, you know what? I get to now move on to my dreams because I wasn't going to leave this situation unless it was ended for me. And that can happen, we can get into that with like work or with relationships, right? We're like, well, I don't want to be the one to leave. So we wait until we get fired or we wait until the other person breaks up with us, still holding on to this unhealthy situation that's not bringing us joy. And we just hold out because we don't want to be the one, to be blamed or to make the choice or be blamed for, leaving a company or whatever. It's like, well, then when we get to that point, that tower will happen for us. So, all right. And then lastly, we got the Four of Wands. This is a very celebratory, card. Usually it's like marriage and weddings and party and celebration for the journey that we've had. And so, this is definitely, it comes after the Three of Wands, which is, very early in the Wands suit. We've accomplished some things, we've jumped off and done some things. And so this is like a card to say, celebrate those accomplishments as you go along. And as you make each little step, celebrate each and every moment. It's like, I've created my dream, hurrah! I've taken a step, hurrah! I've taken another step, hurrah! And enjoy those moments and celebrate those moments, focusing on what you do have and not so much on what you don't. This was the whole, if I focus on what I don't have anymore, I don't make any progress. But if I focus on what I do have, then I make progress, towards that dream and towards that goal. So I love this. All right. And then lastly, we're going to pull a card here from the I Am Everything affirmation deck. So let's get the final message for you that chose reading number 1. All right, Creator, what do you do with those? Final message for those. Chose reading number 1. Okay. And you got number 23. It says, I am resilient. And there's 2 spheres on there. If my mood wavers, it doesn't stay that way permanently. I allow myself to feel my feelings until I can refocus my thoughts on the positive. I do not judge myself for being human. I am resilient. That's a great message to end this with, because as we were talking about, the 2 sides of yourself, you don't judge yourself for feeling those feelings because you chose to come here to experience those. So you don't beat yourself up when you focus on what you don't have or, get drawn into the drama. You just flow through it, enjoy it, and return back to your new perspective and start moving forward again. If you, fall down on your trail to your dream, you just get right back up. If you feel it's not moving fast enough, you just take a deep breath and you do something different for that day, and just continue to enjoy the moments, like I said, and celebrate. You are resilient, and you are eternal. And our higher self is all about patience because it's eternal. It has no rush. Our ego, however, it knows it's temporary, so it wants to go, 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 go. I got to get it done. I got to get it done. Well, enjoy the process, enjoy the journey, enjoy feeling pressure and feeling impatient and feeling all those other feelings, because they're juicy feelings we don't have on the other side. So enjoy them, don't resist them, and you are resilient. Well, I love this for you. Just know each and every second of every day you are unconditionally loved by the Creator of all things. And I love you too. Enjoy your full moon. We'll talk to you soon. Take care. And if you chose reading number 2, and then you chose the new moon in Aquarius, that was about bringing love into the situation. There's the beautiful water bearer there. And we'll take a look at that. Now, the last new moon we've had in Aquarius was actually back on my birthday, February 12th. Of this year. It was actually Chinese New Year as well, which is very interesting because the new moon, new year, new experiences, we let go of the past, we move forward towards our future. And with the Aquarian energy, we do that in, I guess you'd call them unconventional ways. And so what we're going to look at for this reading is, what are you ready to let go of now? What new ways are you ready to bring in to your life? So we're going to start off here by pulling a card from the Queen of the Moon Oracle. And we'll see what the Creator would like you to know about this time frame. The new moon, that's kind of the cycle. The new moon in Aquarius started on February 12th. This is kind of a climax for you. So there would have been this journey of letting go of things and moving towards your future. So now that you're kind of at this culmination or climax point of all the seeds you planted with that new moon in Aquarius, you can ask yourself, okay, now that I've gone to this point, now what am I ready to let go of and move on to next for my future? So, Creator, what would you like those that chose reading number 2 to know about their next phase here? And you've got extremes, the hot moon. Oh my goodness. And that's card number 34. So that's a burning moon there. This full moons are always bring us, such extreme emotional energy. So whatever emotions that we're feeling are expanded, and that includes, those extremities. So, whatever we're feeling. So, that's why wolves howl on a full moon. With all the fantasies that we put around, the full moons and werewolves and all that kind of stuff. It's like people become animals, they become very heated in a lot of ways during a full moon. But if we focus on, these living waters I talked about at the beginning of reading number 1, then we expand this coolness, this quenching of thirst, rather than feeling so heated and in need, I guess I'll call it. And let's see from the book here. So it says, learn how to handle crises with calm and resilience. Seeking balance is superior to seeking extremes. There are better ways to handle conflict than rage and outrage. There may be someone who seeks to disrupt your business or life in some way, but this too shall pass. At the end of reading number 1, the card that I pulled, which we'll pull one here too, was I am resilient. And because this mentions resilience, if you didn't read reading number 1, I would probably go listen to that, because I think that is a message saying, hey, go listen to it. So after you do this one, just the timestamps in the description box below, you can click on it and go back to it very easily. And the word, little phrase for this card here is, I handle extremes with great grace, yet I seek balance in all things. Most of us have experienced extremes of weather, boiling hot days, I think we're all going through right now, it feels like, or the freezing of snow and ice, unless you're in the southern hemisphere, they're in winter, of course. You certainly know you are alive, because the sensation can be so overwhelming or stressful on the body. The hot moon appeared in the hottest time of the year, where the days were longest and the rain less frequent. Similarly, we can experience extremes in life: deaths, job losses, relationship breakdowns, true fears, big conflicts, booms and busts, and yet, this is life. Our situation can change quickly, for better or for worse. The hot moon challenges us to build our resilience and reserves of wisdom and calm for those times where things are at their extreme. It reminds us that developing grace under pressure is worth its weight in gold, and that even these extremes in time will pass. And the companion stone or metal for this is sunstone. And I love that because, this next period of time, I'm sure over these last 6 months, you've had busts and booms and unexpected things and, all this extreme things happen. That's part of life. And one of the great, I don't call them lessons so much because that feels like work in school, but, the experiences and the gift that it gives us is learning to have that grace under pressure, to learn to balance. And no matter what's happening in the outside world, we can, remain in that calm, peaceful place. And the movement is small. And it's like being a fish in a sea during a hurricane. The fish that's, deeper in the waters, looks up and goes, look, all that stuff that's just going all over the place. But they're just in here in slow currents, and, it's very calm and quiet. Up there, it's whoosh, waves crashing and all that kind of stuff. And that's kind of the feel that this brings for me, is like, there's extremes. You're either in a desert or you're in a hurricane, but in the middle, there's this calm in the middle of the chaos. In the middle of the storm, there's an eye where there's calm, and you can just watch it all happening and not get sucked out into it. Which, if you do get sucked out into it, that's okay too. We come here to experience chaos. It is a part of our life. It's part of our shadow experience. And so it's not bad. It's just experience. And if you're tired of that, you can make other choices when you're aware of it, which is great. It's just about breathing, taking deep breaths to come out of chaos. All right, we're also going to pull some cards here from the Everyday Tarot and see what additional messages the Creator has for you, or validation, confirmation as well. We will take whatever information we can get. All right, so Creator, for those that chose reading number 2, what else do you want them to know about this cycle of their life? Okay. Okay, what else? What else for number 2s? Okay. Okay, that is it. So we will do these. We'll start down here. And we got the 7 of Swords. And swords are all about our thoughts, our mentality, our beliefs. And for this card, for this reading, we can focus on what we're leaving behind, and like, oh, I should have, I could have, when we're looking back at the past. But your arms are still very full. You have so much. And it's like, but what about this? I should have. Hindsight's always 20/20. But what I love about the 7 of Swords, I read these a lot of intuitively, and everyone has different interpretations, traditional interpretations of the cards. But for me, this is that those thoughts make themselves known to you, and so during this time, those shoulds and supposed tos are in your face, and especially with the cycle, with looking back to the last new moon till now, it's like, oh, if I'd only done that, if I'd only bought stock in iPhones back in yada yada yada, be a billionaire by now. It's like, but everything unfolds perfectly for us, for the journey that we want and the experience that we want. So we can learn from experiencing that disappointment and that regret a lot, and look instead in this moment, be thankful for what we do have. All these beautiful swords that you're holding now. It's like, be grateful for these, and just as they're doing, continue to take steps forward and move forward, because that is going to be in your highest experience, is just to continue to move forward. It's okay to glance back and experience all those judgments of the past, so that you can come back to this moment, take a deep breath, and go, you know what? I'm in today. I'm not in the past. I'm going to take that knowledge I gleaned from the past and apply it towards the future where I can. And easy breezy, right? Yep. And then you got Ace of Swords. Yep. So new thoughts. This is what's cutting away the old swords, the old ways of thinking that no longer serve you, cutting out those things in your life that have done its duty, which is so perfect again for this reading, because with what you started back on February 12th and that has come to fruition until now, it's a good time to reflect back and go, okay, I did that. Do I need to continue to do that? I'm investing a lot of time in that thing, and it's not bringing me what I want. Do I think it will? Nope. Psh, out it goes., make room for something new. Release your, allows if it's something that was time consuming, it gives you more time to do other things. If it was emotionally consuming, it gives you more emotional energy to invest in other things. If it was taking up your mental energy, then you have more mental energy to invest in something else. So this is an opportunity to let those things go, to make room and space. So that's perfect for this new moon energy that's coming for you. That's selected number 2. Excuse me. Also for the full moon in Aquarius, a full moon is a time to start understanding what you want to let go. And as I said in reading number 1, when you bring in Aquarian energy, it's like 3 times louder. That message is, what are you going to let go of to make room for the new? Okay. And then you got the Hanged Man. So this is about seeing things from a different perspective. And normally I would say this is from a spiritual perspective, and everything's really spiritual. Our whole journey is spiritual in reality. But what I feel is like, because of what you have experienced over these last 6 months, you definitely have a new view of things. Again, with that hindsight being 2020, you're able to see things and go, oh, okay. Look at it as, I have learned and have knowledge and wisdom now, not that, I made mistakes, and focusing on all the, the negative side of when things didn't work out the way you wanted them to. Glean and focus in on the energy of the wisdom and the knowledge that you gleaned from these experiences over the last 6 months, because that is what is going to help you continue to move forward and take steps towards your dreams, and not, investing all that energy like we talked about in the past. Excuse me. And you got the Queen of Pentacles. Pentacles is all about, the outside. She's like Mother Nature in a way. So it's about nurturing yourself. She's very confident in that things are unfolding, that she has everything she needs. It's like the harvest. She's, again, the nurturer. So, pardon me, there's this feeling of having everything you need, always when you need it. Maybe not have everything you want when you need it, but that's okay. This little rabbit down here shows that things are multiplying, things are coming to you, and you don't need to be concerned. You have abundance is definitely in your life. You just may not see it. Again, we come back to this. You have abundance, but if all you're focusing on and what you don't have there, then you don't realize how good you have it. And so that is one of the perspectives that you can that can change your life, is by focusing on what you do have, gratitude, thankfulness. I don't. Any other messages with that one besides the one thing that I was trying to remember, but I got on a side trail, was that she is the feminine side, and that's the emotions too. So this feeling of abundance and feeling complete and whole, that is comes about by a choice, by looking, she has her hand here where her soul is. And so when you realize you have everything that you need inside of you, even though the Pentacles is about the external world, really like kind of the physical stuff that's going on out here, you realize that I have everything I need inside of me. Everything else outside of me is extra. When you have that approach, then that helps you bring this balance, because this hunger to try to be and have, that comes with this hot moon. When you realize you have everything you need inside you, then it's not so desperate to get those things on the outside, and you feel, like it was talking about, you feel a balance. You feel, okay, I can let things go because they're extra, and that allows room for new stuff to come in. And the Queen of Pentacles is a promise of, that there will be things, it's like, harvesting your crop of corn, and you're like, yeah, but I don't want to get rid of all those husks and all that. And she says, well, this is fall, we're harvesting, so take all the corn and all that, and then we're going to go through winter, so there's going to be a time of no growth, and then spring is coming, we're going to dig up all those husks or those stalks that no longer are doing any good, and we're going to let those go, like it says here, and allow room to plant the new plants, the new seeds that are going to bring us new harvest. And so, that's the promise of that. It's okay to let go and make room for new, because you always have everything you need inside you. Dun, dun, dun. And then you have the King of Pentacles, which is exactly, where this is the emotional piece. This is the King of Pentacles, who is just, it's the symbol of success, in every area of their life. They've, been able to balance the business and relationships, and some of the cards that other tarot cards has, like, they've got the dog and they're just really relaxed, and they just feel that they can sit in this aura of abundance, and they just allow things to come in. They give because they have. They're not afraid to give, thinking that they're going to be lacking. They're able to give. I have enough here. And they bless other people. And in that letting go and giving, it has this flow of abundance in their life, because, they've let some go and they've given of a free, without expectation to others. And then they get another flow in. And I really feel, this is just an abundant period for you. But it has to do with your focusing on lack instead of focusing on what you do have, focusing on what's in your hands, not what's not in your hands. And you make plans and you move towards, those goals, but it's about focusing on what you do have for this one. All right, and then lastly, we're going to pull a card here. These are the I Am Everything affirmation cards. And we'll just pull a final card here for you. All right, Creator, what else? Final message for those that chose reading number 2, please. Okay. And this is I Am Passionate, number 10. This says here, I put my entire heart into the people and things I believe in. My passion is a powerful force. It is an internal fuel. I recognize the strength of my passion, and therefore I am careful where I choose to focus it. I am passionate. So beautiful, choosing where you focus that passion and that energy, because whatever you focus on grows. So are you going to focus on what you do have and more will come, or are you going to focus on what you don't have so that more lack comes into your life? Easy choice, I know. But we're taught so much in our external world about focusing on what you don't have, because your worth is so defined on what you have that, like, if I don't have, then that's how I'm not worthy. But instead focus on, your internal soul here. You have every second of every day, you are unconditionally loved by the Creator of all things. And you can have that be the source of your worth, because you are unconditionally lovable, unconditionally accepted by the Creator of all things. So as you go throughout this little cycle here, just remember that, and just know that I love you too. Have a fantastic full moon. And this entire cycle, I really feel this like going to be a beginning of a new 6-month cycle for you. So enjoy that, and we'll talk to you soon. You hang in there. Take care. If you chose reading number 3, then this is the reading for you, and you chose just the generic full moon, which talks about surrendering to the divine. What I love about the energy of a full moon is, it's a time, like it mentions, to surrender to the divine. It's a time where we kind of learn that word trust. When we trust the Creator, we trust that things are unfolding for us. Life is not happening to us. And with the full moon, it's about answers being given to us as we harvest all those seeds we planted at the new moon. So we planted it, and it's, got us to that point. And we can ask ourselves, is it the answer that we wanted? So, we planted seeds, and it grew, and we're like, wait a minute, is this what I planted? This is a weird, flower, not a fruit tree. What happened? And so we can, look into it. The purpose of this reading, the question we're asking is, is this the answer that I wanted? And if not, what do you want me to know about the answers that I was given? So we're going to look into that. We're going to start off by pulling a card here from the Queen of the Moon Oracle, and just see what the Creator's answers are to our questions. What was the question we had in our lives? Could have been at the new moon back in February in Aquarius. Or it could have been our last new moon a couple weeks ago. Or it could just be questions that have come across your path today that's why you come across this video, because you wanted answers. So, Creator, what answers do you have for those that chose reading number 3, please? Okay. You got power. Love that. Number 16. It's a beautiful card there. So before I read from the book there, the message is you are more powerful than you've been taught to believe. And so, it's a beautiful answer to any question, right? Is that you've got this. You have the abilities, you have the knowledge, you have the wisdom, you have the connection to the higher realms, to, the Creator, Spirit, Holy Spirit, depending on your faith, your angels and guardian angels and spirit guides, your loved ones who are on the other side, your ancestors, and a whole group of beings of unconditional love and light that will aid you in your journey here. Before you came down here, you did ask for certain things and certain events to happen in your life, and they're always busy bringing that about. But while we're here, we can also ask them for that guidance in our daily lives. But because of our free will, they won't just meddle and go, hey, by the way, they're like, well, they wanted us to remain silent unless asked, because that's, allows us to have the journey that we want. So, it's like a parent allowing a little child to color in a coloring book and not going, no, stay within the line. No. It allows them to express themselves and to enjoy the process more by letting them do what they're going to do. But if the little child goes, what color, should a horse's tail be? And I'm like, well, what would you like it to be? Here on Earth, they're usually like brown or black or white, but, you can make it whatever color you want. Oh, okay. It's that kind of experience there. Yep. And then this is the full moon. I don't know if I showed you that here. So right down here, it says full moon. So very synchronistic here. So it says, step into your true power. Shine brightly. Do not hide who and what you are. The time is right to attract big things for yourself. Ancestral energy is important. Open your mind to larger possibilities. Big magic can be wrought. And, magic, depending on your belief system, I believe magic is the essence of unconditional love. That's what makes miracles happen. That's what makes things feel magical, is connecting to that unconditional love, the essence of the Creator. That's what spirit is made of. That's what the Holy Spirit is the comforter, the essence of the unconditional love of our Creator of all things. And the phrase for this is, I have power, it is real. It goes on to say, go outside on a clear night and look up. Hopefully you'll see the stars a twinkling If you are really lucky, you might see the swirling Milky Way spilling across the darkness. And then there she is, the big full moon, unmistakable in her glory and power. She moves the earth itself, stabilizes it into orbit. She releases and pulls the seas, the tides. She is the object of devotion, the inspiration of poems, the realm of goddesses, and she has witnessed the very first of us rise up on two legs and venerate her. Generation after generation, we have stood barefoot under the same moon, wishing, setting intentions, dancing, and drawing her graceful power. You are made of the very swirling matter that is the stuff of stars. You are pure possibility, changing constantly, renewing, and transforming. Take this moment to recognize that power and rejoice in it, for your next step is the precursor to your future self. And the companion stone or metal for this is a moonstone, which makes sense. Beautiful. So recognizing your power and remembering who you really are. We are human characters here, but the actor behind that is a powerful, supernatural, eternal spirit being made of unconditional love. And we come here to experience, all these events that we wanted to come down here for. And that's when we surrender to the divine and we trust the Creator. We let go of all our supposed tos and shoulds and all the trying to control everything along our journey instead of just enjoying it. It's like trying to plan a vacation where every second has something planned that you have to get done, and it's not so much in enjoying the process as it is completing tasks. And so, a message for this is to enjoy the moments, let go of all that control, go with the flow, see where your heart leads you, and enjoy that instead of trying to check everything off the list. All right, we're also going to pull some cards here from the Everyday Tarot and to see what additional messages or validation or clarification the Creator has for you that chose reading number 3. All right, Creator, what else do you want those that chose reading number 3 to know, please? Okay, what else, please? Nope, they said not all those. Okay. So the last 2 there. All right, so you got 2, 2, and 2. All right, you've got the 8 of Cups. And this is a beautiful card because it's about all these things that have been filled up in your life, all these emotions that you've experienced. And here is the moon. This is the new moon and the full moon all in one, right? Or the sun even, depending on your perspective of it. But they're walking away onto new things because these things, though they were good experiences, they haven't been fulfilling. Otherwise, you'd still be there standing there drinking of the cups. So this is a point in your life where you're realizing, you know what? I'm letting old things go, and I'm moving on to the new things. And that's perfect for you because, again, all this stuff that has not made you step into your power has left you feeling powerless at times. And so you're like, you know what? I'm ready for something definitely different. And I've done what I've always did. I've gotten what I've always gotten, and I'm tired of repeating those patterns, and I'm ready to move on to the next step. And this is a great card to accompany that. You have the spirit up above talking to the lovers, and one interpretation is, oh, you're going to have romance and a partner come into your life. But the big message at the root of this is that one of the first times in our life when we're get brave enough to go against all those roles and the supposed tos and the shoulds, all those things that we've been taught we have to obey and stay in line is when we start, when we have our first crush. We're willing to sneak out or do things that we were told we were not supposed to do. That's when that inner passions really stirs us to go and experience things that are taboo outside of what we're being told. No. We were like, how that is we were all teenagers at once, and a lot of us have had teenagers as children or interacted with teenagers. It's like, what's the first thing that happens when you tell someone don't do that? You've just created fire for them to go do that thing. And this is what this is about, is this fire that's burning inside you now to move into a new direction, to try something outside of your norm. And whereas before it would have scared you, now you're just, those feelings of not being yourself and the feelings of boredom are outweighing your fears, and you're ready to, trust. Like it says, trust the divine, let all things go, and just follow your passion and move with that. And you got the King of Swords. And again, beautiful card that just is building on this, is because the swords are all about your thoughts, your mentality, your beliefs, all these roles out here too. And with the King of Swords, the reason why he's at the end of the deck of swords is because he's learned to balance. He's got, he does have his beliefs that he's holding on to, but he also has an open hand here, and he's learned to balance heart and mind. So he's getting out of his head and into his heart. And so that's so perfect for this, because you're getting out of your head and walking away from these old things with this passion that's igniting within you. You're willing to balance and question a lot of your thoughts and beliefs about all those shoulds and supposed tos. Yep, in judgment. You're remembering, this is such a remembering who you really are, because this is about seeing that you're this higher spiritual being. You're not just this physical human walking around having these experiences. You're actually, this is your higher self calling out to you, going, I'm here. This is who you really are. And so you're really opening up to that. And I love how that, and this is number 20, which is 2 10s. It's X and X, which is about endings and new beginnings. So, definitely this is a time for a new beginning for you, moving into that new place. Yep, because here you go. The 9 of Swords. All these things that are keeping you up at night, all these thoughts, all these supposed tos and shoulds, and all that pressure on trying to be someone who you're not. You're told by so many things in the outside world of who you're supposed to be with, what you're supposed to own, what kind of job or position you're supposed to be in, how you're supposed to act, how you're not supposed to act, blah, 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 blah. That, it gets you to the point where you are, the 9 of Swords, on the verge of exhaustion. The next card, the 10 of Swords, usually shows someone face down in the dirt with all the swords stepped in their back, and they're like, that's the ultimate exhaustion. That's the 10, whether that's the ending and ready for the new beginning. So, you're on the verge right now, this is coming for you. So just know that if you're at this point of almost exhaustion, you have a choice. You can start connecting and remember who you really are, or you'll end up at the number 10 total exhaustion, where you're like, I'm ready to let go. And that's that whole surrender. I give up to the Creator and say, you know what? I'm tired of trying to obey all that stuff. Yep. And then you have the 10 of Pentacles, which the 10 of Pentacles is like the legacy card. It means that you've got everything that you need in the external world, all the abundance, everything you need, and you have enough where animals and children and other people you influence and impact them as well. What I really feel for that is kind of twofold. One is that when you make this transition and that, balance that comes and realizing your power, you start making decisions that are for you, and you break the norm. This whole Aquarian energy right now over the next 2 months, because there is a full moon in Aquarius, which is this reading, and then you also have one in August coming up too. So you have 2 months of this Aquarian, quirky, new ways, outside of the box energy happening. And so when you have this power, and you feel empowered again, and you're not afraid, and you make these changes we were talking about, you do it in unordinary ways, ways that are like unconventional. And when you do that, other people see you, and they're the ones that are waiting for someone else to make the first move. It's like if you've ever gone to a dance club in your life, and when you first get there and no one's dancing, it takes one person to go out to dance, and then a lot of people go out to dance, but no one wants to be the first. And so when you have that power and you don't have that fear, you're like, you know what, I'm doing it. And then other people are like, yes, finally someone, and they'll follow behind you and take those leaps and steps too. So that's an amazing thing. That's one. The other thing with this, and again, this being a 10, it's, an ending and a new beginning, is that there are these ancestral, I want to say, chains, that have bound, thinking and action, from parent to child to parent to child to parent to child. So there's been these cycles that have been going on for centuries in ancestral lines, and this shows you that you have the power to break those chains. You get to be the generation, if you choose to break those thoughts and beliefs and actions and cycles, and you get to be the one that helps bring that change for the generations to come. And that's part of your legacy, your ability to do that in this lifetime. And you have so many tools that you can do that with in this lifetime. This is one of the biggest, last couple generations here over the last 20, 30 years that are willing to talk about stuff that was, shh, don't talk about that at all. It's like whether it's something that happened, in a family or in society or whatever, people are willing to, go to counseling, talk about that. They're going to counseling, talk about things that happened to them, talk about that they were, at their wits' end and were going to end their lives. Ooh, we don't talk about that now. People are open about it, and people don't feel as alone. And so many chains are being broken, and cycles being broken. And you have the power and ability to not only impact your ancestry, but other people's as well. So, beautiful message there. And lastly, we're going to pull a card here from the I Am Everything affirmation deck here. And we'll see what the final message the Creator has for you today. All right, Creator, what's the final message for those that chose reading number 3, please? Okay. Yeah. I am creator, right? Remembering who you really are. And that's a 6-1 is a 7. And that's a 7 up here as well. So great synchronicity there. So it says, everything around me began as a thought. My clothes, my home, and even the roads I drive on were once just thoughts. When I take the time to contemplate my surroundings, I grasp all of the thoughts that took place to create the world. Likewise, my thoughts have created things. My thoughts create my actions and thereby create my life as I know it. Therefore, I strive to think about my desires optimistically, I am a creator. And that is very much remembering who we are. We're a co-creator, it just totally fit in with everything we've talked about here. I just love all the confirmation that you've had here today. And just know as you go throughout this journey of rediscovering who you really are, and that every second of every day, you are unconditionally loved by the Creator of all things. And I love you too. You have a fantastic full moon. We'll talk to you soon. You take care now.